Hello there, I'm Jay. Today we're going to talk about the obscure stories of Animalities. Mortal Kombat. Not only known for their blood-splashing, skull-cracking, but also their gruesome, sometimes comedic, finishing move. The game became immensely popular over the years for all the different finishing moves a player can perform. This soon became a trademark of the series. It began with the introduction of Fatality in the first Mortal Kombat.
Fatality.
This finishing move served as a means to add salt to injury.
The idea for fatalities just came from the desire to rub it in someone's face.
The subsequent installment, Mortal Kombat 2, upped the ante and further introduced two new finishers, which includes
Friendship again? Babality. Reptile wings. Flawless victim. Fatality.
The development team also added an inside joke in the form of Toasty. This fan-favorite Easter egg later evolved into a pop culture.
Toasty 3D!
The series is also notoriously known for its Easter eggs and secret characters. Reptile, the very first ever secret character to appear in a fighting game. He appears as a fused color palette swap of Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Mortal Kombat 2 followed this tradition by having Jade, Smoke, and Noob Saibot as secret characters. Noob Saibot is actually Boone and Tobias spelled backwards, named after the co-creators of Mortal Kombat, Ed Boon, John Tobias. Both Jade and Smoke occasionally drops down during a match and give clues on how to reach them, saying things like "I'm called Jade, I'm called Smoke, Toasty," before the question mark, Ermac who, "We'll meet you in Goro's lair, I'm one of three." There are also console-specific finishing moves such as Fatality, a finisher that could only be performed on the Armory stage by Raiden in the Sega Genesis version. Finally, we have the secret messages. These messages randomly appear after beating the game. They basically serve no purpose, only to feed rumors and to keep the fans pumping in quarters. With so many Easter eggs, secret messages, and secret characters, all the fans start theorycrafting on everything they can find in the game. This causes rumors to run wild. Players swore there's more finishing moves such as Animality and Nudality. And yes, Nudality was a thing back then. More on that at the end of the video. If you grew up playing Mortal Kombat, you've undoubtedly and inevitably read a few gaming guides magazine. One of the very popular Mortal Kombat magazine back then was the Mortal Kombat 2 official Player's Guide. The magazine have an entire page dedicated to rumors and secret. This came with edited image and illustration that are obviously fake. However, Animality was mentioned here. Bear in mind this was before the release of Mortal Kombat 3. It states, "We all know about fatalities. What about animalities? Suppose you can turn into an animal that resembles your character, then administer a bestial death blow. For example, Sub-Zero is rumored to turn into a polar bear. Talk about foreshadowing." This was the exact animal that Sub-Zero turned into in Mortal Kombat 3. The rumors got off hand till the point where players called up the developers. This was explained in an interview in Flux issue 4. And I quote, "Does it upset you when players get hung up on things like Animalities and Kano's transformation, searching for things that don't exist?" With that, Tobias replied, "We've gotten calls from players who said, for instance, I saw Sub-Zero turn into a polar bear. At first we tried to tell them, no, that's not true, and after a while you find yourself arguing with these kids who swear on their mother's grave, no, I did it, I saw it. So now we just kind of let them go. We don't comment one way or the other. And I think that's how a lot of times the rumors just keep coming. People don't really know whether it's there or not. It's nothing that we plan for or spread. All the rumors come from the players themselves, and they either believe them or they don't. To discourage the Animality's rumors from spreading, the developers added an additional phrase. In Mortal Kombat 2 version 3.1, one of the possible lines that you would see in the game after beating Shao Kahn is a scrambling phrase of "There are no Animalities." Eventually, it's time to make the rumor a reality. In the Ultimate Guide to Mortal Kombat 3 CD-ROM, Ed Boon states explicitly that was his mindset when making the Animality.
A lot of that stuff is like kind of inspiration for us to make it true. You know, if somebody comes up with something that's a very popular rumor, then we'll make it true. Animalities being one example, and Reptile was a hidden character in Mortal Kombat 1, and people would say, oh, there's a way to control him. So we put him in Mortal Kombat 2 as a controllable character, and so a lot of what we see and hear in terms of rumors is the basis for some of the stuff that we add in the following game.
So you have heard the Animalities is inspired by the fans. How about the actual move of Animalities? Where do those come from? In an interview from Mortal Kombat 3 official collector's book, John Vogel explains, "The Animalities for most part were my ideas. For what they were, only a few early ideas really struck because I couldn't find any reference for some animals. I had to get videotapes of animals in action. I have a bunch of them, like the Predators of the Wild type stuff." Animality, which debuted in Mortal Kombat 3 in 1995, have not been used in subsequent Mortal Kombat until the recent Mortal Kombat 1 Chaos Shrines expansion, making a return in 29 years. In Mortal Kombat 3, before you can perform Animality, Mercy had to be first performed. Mercy, also introduced in Mortal Kombat 3, allowed the winner of the match to show mercy to the loser and grant them a small portion of their health back. This allowed the user to continue the fight with the winner of the match. Should you trigger finish him again after showing mercy, you have then unlocked the requirement to perform Animality. Before we go further, I would just like to comment that the developers made the strangest decision in Mortal Kombat 3. Shiva's Animality is turning into a scorpion, and Scorpion, the character's Animalities, is turning into a penguin? Nani? Why, Ed Boon? Why? Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. Let's go back to the main point. Still here? Good. It seems that you're a man of culture as well.
Sarcasm detected.
But before we proceed, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you are feeling generous, you can also support me at Buy Me a Coffee.
Finish him.
Fabled Nudality was a finishing move rumored to exist from Mortal Kombat 2 and persist until the release of Mortal Kombat 3. This, however, was never true and not made into a reality for obvious reasons. The spirit of Nudality, however, was carried out by a game called Tattoo Assassins.
Who?
Who? Well, that should be the expected reaction. It was an obscure game to begin with. Tattoo Assassins is an unreleased 1994 arcade fighting game developed by the pinball division of Data East. A few prototypes were test marketed, but the game was never officially released. It was meant to be an answer to Mortal Kombat. The game was essentially completed before it was cancelled. However, Tattoo Assassins managed to achieve something that Mortal Kombat weren't able to, with the inclusion of the Nudality finishing move. Here's a short montage of the Nudality finishing move.
You wouldn't hurt a girl, would you? You wouldn't hurt a girl, would you?
Win, perfect win. Win, perfect win.
You thought I was pulling your leg about Nudality, weren't you? Tattoo Assassins is not the only game that's taken the endeavor to make Nudality a reality. There is another. The Apprentice. No, not this one. But The Apprentice that I was referring to is the 1994 vertical scrolling platform game developed by the Vision Factory and published by the Philips Interactive Media. This game is set on a fantasy setting inside the castle of a wizard named Gandalf as One Burner III, as the player assumed the role of a young apprentice magician Marvin in order to complete a series of tasks given by his master. A series of hidden Easter eggs which pay tributes to Mortal Kombat can be triggered in the game over screen. This includes Fatalities, Animalities, and Nudalities. Here are some of the Easter eggs. And that's all, folks. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Stay tuned for plenty more. I'll see you next time and take care.